Hey, good morning. It's Wednesday, August 26th. Again, so thankful to be able to talk with you this morning. We're continuing in Proverbs 3. We're looking at these after talking about the healing that God brings to us by trusting in Him and not trusting in ourselves. Verses 9 and 10 talk about our stuff, our wealth, our possessions. Remember how it starts. Solomon is urging his son, "My son, do not forget my teaching. Let your heart guard my commandments," because he knows these things are what makes life work. Not that Solomon thought of them, but he's giving the truth of God and to weave these things deeply into our hearts. So one of the things that impresses our hearts most deeply is stuff, possessions, acquisitions, wealth. And so, speaking in the language of the people at the time, the wealth that they understood is agricultural, he says this: honor the Lord from your wealth, from the first fruits of all your produce. And your granaries will be filled with plenty, and your vats will overflow with new wine. That's what those people understood at that time, living in that culture. That's what wealth meant to them. And it's the same thing today as we're talking about stock markets, we're talking about acquisitions, we're talking about precious metals, we're talking about houses, cars, whatever it is that we are possessing. This is what's being talked about. And from the work of your hands, from the things that you do, what Solomon is urging his son to do, honor the Lord from your wealth, from the first fruits of all you produce. Make him your first priority with whatever you have, whether you have a little, a relative small crop, or a bountiful crop. Whatever it is, honor the Lord with it. There's a recommendation, there's a connection here, which I believe is straight from this portion of Proverbs when Jesus is talking to the man in Luke 12 who wants his brother to divide his stuff, his inheritance with him. And Jesus says, "Who made me an arbiter between you and your brother?" And he tells him, he said, "Watch out for greed, for a man's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions." And that's what's being talked about here. And then he goes and tells the story of this farmer who had a big crop, something these people would have totally understood. In other words, he had a great crop, he worked hard, and he got a big bounty out of it. But instead of referencing this truth of Proverbs, his first thought was, how can I honor myself with what I built, with what I got, with what I was given from the work? He worked hard to produce a good crop. That's good. But he didn't realize, he didn't acknowledge that it was from God. So his first thought is, I need to be secure. I'm going to build bigger barns, bigger places to store all my grain, and then I'll be set for life. I got it made. It's the American dream. It's called financial security. And you know what? It's about as secure as standing in the middle of a hurricane, 150-mile-an-hour hurricane, and hoping you won't be blown away. That's not secure. That's not what God's called us to. The order here is honor the Lord with your first parts of your produce, not yourself. And then when you honor God, the rest of it will come to you. But this turkey, this farmer, this guy is saying no. In Luke 12, I'm going to honor myself first. See, that's when he was challenged. The angel comes to him and says, fine, then who's going to get it? Your soul is required tonight. Then who's going to get your stuff? See, he had it exactly opposite. He did not listen to the wisdom of the Proverbs. He made his own wealth and own priority the bottom line. And in Proverbs, what Solomon is urging his son to do is honor the Lord with the first fruits of anything you produce. And then he'll take care of the balance. The rich fool in Luke 12 says honors himself first, thinking that's security. But it's not security because God does hold our life in his hands. He does give us our next breath. So that's this next word in terms of being peaceful, having security. If I try and provide for myself, all that does is continue to be wise in your own eyes and stir up your gut within and will not give you peace. But if you honor God with the first things that you have, that settles your body, brings you peace. And that literally is guarding your heart from all the attacks of the world. So that's the thought for today. Honor God with what you have. Your stuff, your life does not consist of the abundance of your stuff, whatever it is. Lord bless and have a great day. Bye-bye.